Hey, good Wednesday afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. We are tracking storms across Dallas, across the eastern portion of Texas, eastern Oklahoma, into Texarkana, headed into Fort Smith, Arkansas right now. So we wanted to get on here and give you a very quick afternoon update. Now, before we do that, I'm going to make sure that my audio is on. Give me a comment in the comments section. Can you hear me? And also in the comments section, if you can hear me, we will be answering your questions very quickly here, and we will be giving you guys just a bit of an afternoon update. Okay, so I can hear my audio, which means that you should be able to hear me as well. Alrighty, let's get started here. Let's do a little round the radar first, and then we'll show you exactly what you should be watching for the rest of the afternoon. You can see in Dallas, we have had a very wet day in Dallas. I mean, it's just been over and over with these rounds of rain. This one may be the heaviest, now out to the south and east, so just a bit past Dallas now. Maybe you're getting pockets of heavy rain, but for the most part, it should be lighter rain now. We do have a tornado watch in place, and let me actually get some information on that. What is our timing on this tornado watch? Now, it doesn't include Dallas, the county that Dallas is in itself. However, it does include anything to the south and east. So this tornado watch goes until 8 o'clock tonight. We have some time on this tornado watch here. 8 o'clock tonight for everyone highlighted in yellow. Some of those places include Killeen, Texas, Temple, Waco, and Waxahachie. But you can see that this stretches all the way into Louisiana and Arkansas as well, including Shreveport and Fort Smith. Let's get to a few of those thunderstorm warnings right now. Now, we only have tornado warnings out in Oklahoma and Arkansas. No tornado warnings that I can see in Texas. However, we do have several severe thunderstorm warnings here. We can get some information on this warning. I think mostly this will be warned for the wind. Now, the hail will be mixed in, especially down in Texas, not so much up in Oklahoma. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and up to $half size hail here. Gusting into Hamilton. Now, we kind of skipped over one of these severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's go back. Yeah, let's talk about this one right here. Can you see that? Highlighted in yellow for Rice, Waxahachie. I never know if I'm saying that correctly. Let's see. Ennis, Italy, Texas. All right, let's get some information on this severe thunderstorm warning. This goes until 2:30. Now, your wind speeds are a little bit heightened here, 65 miles an hour, and quarter-size hail. A lot of people included in this warning. 26,000 people between Blooming Grove, Ennis, Palmer, and Rice, Texas. This is just to the southeast of Dallas. Now, moving up to that warning that's going into Texarkana right now. Now, this warning, I think will have some wind on it. Just by looking at the radar, I think that we are going to have some wind, high wind on this warning right here. Okay, we've got 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. However, look at that hail size. I told you that the farther north that we go, those hail sizes are going to be smaller, less than an inch in size. So we're talking about less than the size of a quarter for these storms that are moving into Texarkana right now. We have another 45 minutes on this warning right here. This goes until 2:45. Wow, I'm jumping ahead. 6 o'clock. Is it 5 o'clock already? 2:45 is when this severe thunderstorm warning will expire. So we are expecting this to move into places like Texarkana, Ashdown, Atlanta over the next 30 minutes here. Here, let's see. How fast is this going? And we'll get a storm track on this because I know that we often have a lot of people watching from Texarkana. I know that is a large area that that people will watch from. It's moving to the east at 55 miles an hour. Pretty decent moving storm, especially compared to what we saw last night. A lot of those storms that moved through Texas and Oklahoma last night, they were slow movers, moving only about 15 to 20 miles an hour. They were very slow movers, which contributed to that flooding yesterday. Now we'll see these storms moving into Arden by about 2:03, maybe a bit after. I give you some extra time here. So 2:03 or after. Hooks by about 2:06 or after. Wake Village, Texarkana, by about 2:20. So I told you 30 minutes. You may have closer to 25 minutes. So Texarkana, 2:21 here. That's the earliest that these storms will get to you. Alrighty, moving on here. Let's go up to some of these other storms. What do we have here? Fort Smith, Arkansas. Alrighty, let's talk about Fort Smith. Now we do have a tornado warning within this storm. This severe thunderstorm warning is warned again for the wind, not necessarily the hail. The hail is below that severe threshold, less than the size of a quarter, less than the size of 3/4 of an inch. Pretty small hail. This is what we call pocket change hail. You know, we've got those dimes, those pennies, those nickels mixed in there, pocket change hail. We do have some strong wind with this, up to 60 miles an hour, and my thought here is that the National Weather Service is probably warning this for more than just that wind. They're also giving people a heads up that, hey, you've got storms coming into your area, you're going to have some gusty winds, but every now and then you could have what you see right here that's headed into places like Cedarville, Uniontown, this tornado warning. So what we can see in this long line of storms is also embedded tornadoes. Now this tornado warning for Bellefonte here, it looks like on the west side of Bellefonte, on the east side of Brushy, north side of Atkins. This goes until 2:30, so we've got another half hour on this tornado warning. I think it's radar indicated. It would be very difficult to spot a tornado within this. Yes, radar indicated rotation. So what the National Weather Service is saying here is that they are seeing some rotation within this pocket of this long line of storms. And they're saying there could be a potential embedded tornado in this. Now, oftentimes you hear tornadoes like this referred to as spin-up tornadoes. Now, that's oftentimes what we would consider, what your initial thought with that, spin-up tornado, a fast tornado, you think that could be weak. Well, not always, okay? That just means that they're fast tornadoes. You have not a ton of lead time here, not a ton of warning time with stuff like that, which is why I think that they've extended the severe thunderstorm warning so far out, because it gives you a little bit more lead time whenever things start to spin up like this. I hope that makes sense. It's the best way that we can explain that type of spin-up tornado. It just means fast, not necessarily weak. Now I'll show Fayetteville, Little Rock, switching over to the Little Rock radar here. Got a little bit of rotation in a few of these little pockets within a long line of storms that extends anywhere from Fort Smith all the way down to Texarkana and even down to places farther down to the south. I mean, if you drew a line with this leading edge here, you'd go all the way from Fort Smith, Texarkana, now to the south and east of Dallas, and then even as far south as that first severe thunderstorm warning that we tracked earlier. Now, I don't have a ton of time here, so I am going to get to your questions, if we have any. What do your questions look like here? I do not see them popping up. Now, that could be an issue on how we are streaming this. So let me double check. Let me try one more time. Refresh my screen here. Aha, there we go. Steve says yes. Thank you, Steve, for popping in here. How about Southeast Kansas? That is a great question. Let's get to Kansas. And Minnie asks, any hail for Southeast Kansas? What are we talking about here? Southeast Kansas, are we talking about like our Kansas City, Independence area, Winfield? There's Southeast Kansas. Now, I don't have the radar popped up. Let me see if I can switch over to a different type of radar. Okay, so this is your composite radar. Kind of gives you a wider view of things, not as detailed, but we really don't need it whenever we don't have anything severe. So what you're going to see in Southeast Kansas, and we're talking about the far side of Southeast Kansas, so to the east of Independence, all the way from Mount Pleasant down to the far southeast corner and even into Missouri, into Joplin here. What we're watching for here is some light to moderate rain. You're going to hear that rumble of thunder, strike of lightning, maybe some teeny tiny hail the size of Dippin' Dots mixed into some of those heavier pockets here. But for the most part, no severe hazards here. That is great news. All of those severe storms are going to be farther down to the south and the east side of Oklahoma, as far east and as far south as Fayetteville. So great question there. Great question about the severe risk in southeast Kansas. All right, and I told you guys I didn't have a ton of time here, so I am going to hop off of here, and we are going to get back to working on our evening, our forecast to make sure that you guys are updated later on this evening as well. We've got lots to do here in the Hail Trace Studios, in the Hail Palace. So we are going to get back to that. But as always, if you have any questions, put them on that Facebook page, put them on the comments section, and we will always get back to you. I'm pretty good about within the next hour reading those comments and responding as needed. All right. Have a good Wednesday. Have a good Wednesday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we'll see you back here in a few hours for your evening radar update.